Welcome, Aquarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot. I'm checking my microphone because I've had to redo a couple of readings, including this one. So I have laid out the oracle cards face up. That means I've seen these cards and meditated on them. And the cards that are face down, present, past, and future, have not been seen by me. I'll pull some clarifiers from the bottom of this deck and finish off with a flower oracle. So the new moon in Aries is the event of this reading, the inspiration, and it is occurring on the 17th of April. This is going to be impacting you in the area of communication, where you give and receive information, share knowledge, teach, and the ways that you are learning. So the emphasis here on communication is pretty significant, particularly for those of you that are Aquarius rising. I know that many of you here have no Aquarius placements, and that's fine. All are welcome if this reading resonates for you. I am aware that there are about 6 planets in Aries at this very moment, including Chiron, which is not a planet. It is a planetoid or an asteroid. And the wounded healer, Chiron, presence here in a tight conjunction, is really bringing up many aspects of Aquarius that are often associated with Sagittarius. So Chiron was a teacher and was a centaur, or half horse, half human. However, there is this intuitional sense of the wounded healer, this deep psychological wound that he spends his life trying to heal and experiencing a lot of pain as a result of that. And this is what sends him out on this life path of teaching and training others who become major figures in various areas of medicine and philosophy, etc. However, the realm of trauma and wounding is a specialty of the Chiron, and this idea that he has to heal from multiple traumas at birth, basically deep rejection from both his father, his immortal father, and his mortal mother. So in some way, this is resonating for the energy of Aquarius, the need to share this holistic quality of intuition with others to improve upon the world. From the energetic archaeology, I have pulled for you the resonance card. And this is when in balance, the keywords are flowing and synchronistic. And this is describing the energy pathway as the spinal column. So I'm going to read from both the energy and the wisdom. The energy reads, the spine acts as a conductor to permit the flow of current from brain to tailbone. 2 spiral streams of energy that make a full rotation at each vertebrae. One flows down from the crown and spirals in a counterclockwise direction, allowing you to take action. The other flows up from the coccyx in a clockwise direction, and from which you receive sensory information and send it to the brain. There's also a central cord of energy that runs straight up and down the spine from the crown to the root. These 3 streams of energy consistently shift and align your energetic resonance, which is transmitted throughout your field. The spinal column is one of the wisest structures in the bone body. And from the wisdom reads, resonance is both embodied wisdom and a doorway through which you can travel deeper. Your core energetic resonance is your primary guide and your highest truth. This is a resonance you feel in your bones and your soul. The foundational level beliefs, gifts, and wounds come up for you to heal, transmute, and integrate. Your day-to-day resonance is variable, influenced by seasons of healing, aligning, and integrating that teach you discernment and alignment. Hold this wisdom loosely and allow it to guide you deeper into yourself until the whole of you is lit up with the vibration only you can transmit, your core energetic resonance. This is coupled with the purpose card. I know what I am here to do. And so again, there is something about access to various channels of information, layers of information and energy that are not available to others who may be more closely embedded or encased in a community. By virtue of your, some call it an outsider or marginal status, you have access to and are sensitive to various fields. And this information is powerful. It gives you a tremendous amount of powerful in relaying to others and tapping into this greater vision for humankind and for wholeness as individuals. So for the present energy, you have the Justice card. Yeah, this is really underscoring my take on the influence of the wounded healer mythologically, and also on the idea of understanding right from wrong. This level of higher integrity because you've experienced the lessons of powerlessness. You've experienced the lessons of being on the outside looking in, not being safe or supported by the kinds of resources that others have regular access to. And this has gained you a certain amount of sturdiness, strength, ability to persevere, to toughen up, so to speak, but also to gain a sense of your own worth and value because of the extra work you've had to do to find a place in your community, your culture, your family, in the world. And this is what has assuaged your movement from a sense of victimhood or outsiderhood to power, being empowered, embodying that power in ways in which your journey gives you an automatic access to advocacy or an ability to advocate for those that have shared or experienced some kind of injustice or exclusion. So you are weighing the kind of information you have and the kind of access you've gained with how to level the playing field or create a world that is abundant enough for everyone. In other words, some people with a lot of power and most people with little power is not an abundant world, in the same way that some people with freedom and most people without freedom is not a free world. And that's something you're here to support, to envision, to help others to envision the possibility of that. In the past, the Death card is describing your transformation, and this transformation from wounded to healer has been quite a journey. It is an epic, it is a mythic journey. You have had to conform, take on the habits and rituals, routines of power in order to gain that power. You have, with clearly understanding that there has to be another way. And you have learned to utilize the skills that you've gained and still recognize that there is an alternative destination for you. You have not been caged by the restrictions and rules that have applied to you, doubly so. And so, in that way, you are able to move through this process of releasing nonconformity, seeing alternatives, understanding that the status quo is not the only. Not only is it not the only way, it is no longer the most efficient way. And so you are able to assert your own authority, rest on your own principles as a result of having lived these and moved through them. So that's quite a transformation. That is huge. That is quite a gift to be able to hold on to a vision while being subjected to the rules, the rigors, and the punishments, really, of a system that didn't include you or hadn't included you in some way. In the future, the Five of Jades is alerting me to a very clear reality that may be relevant to some of you. So the Five of Jades talks about shifting our material experience, and it is often thought about as greatly changing the opportunities, resources available to you, different from the way that you were conditioned. And we so often think of that as a kind of rags to riches story, but I am getting that for many of you, it can be from riches to rags. And I mean that as a summary, kind of sarcastically. So what I mean by that is some of you have been raised with little, in a environment where there was lack, there wasn't enough, and you were able to leverage that into what you needed to a place of comfort. But you're well aware that you desire and can move to a place that is also available to you, where you can have more resources, where you have broken from an environment of lack. And then on the other side of that, many of you may have been born into an environment of comfort, of wealth, of prosperity even, and have perhaps made a shift to an environment where material comfort was not the greatest value. Instead, you may have been in a position to contribute your wealth to an organization or a group that, in exchange for being able to practice some other value or service as a part of this organization or institution. So I'm thinking of monkhood as being a possibility, for instance, or we think of in medieval times wealthy women who have broken some unspoken rules were sent to the nunnery, or people have given all of their wealth to some religious organization in exchange for basic sustenance. So this is ultimately about a big shift in your material conditions. It's a conscious one. It's one that shifts in order to have a greater impact on the culture and receive greater rewards and recognition as a result of that. So this is quite an interesting journey that is already here and is being highlighted in some way with this new moon in Aries, where a number of things are shifting quickly as we still are resetting and recalibrating our versions of ourselves as we tap into a larger and larger vision of emerging possibilities. If this reading is resonating for you, Aquarius, please like and share this reading with others if you feel inclined to do so. and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I greatly appreciate your presence here. And for the Wheel of Fortune, the Death card, I have the Queen of Pentacles and the Hanged One. For the Justice card, I have the Knight of Pentacles and the Magician. And for the Five of Jades in the future, I have the King of Swords. And I'm going to take what's on top, the World card. So there's a lot going on for you, and the cards are testing. My energy level is very excited. I'm anticipating something. And this is really tapping into this electrifying energy. Your ruling planet is moving into Gemini at the end of the month, just a few days after the new moon in Aries. So this is another very beneficial shift for you. It moves into another air sign and moves into conjunction with Pluto, which is quite dynamic. So in the past, the Death card is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel the strong sense that you have, as it is sometimes said, you can't dismantle the master's house with the tools of the master. But I suggest for many Aquarians, it is quite possible. You gain the skills, the resources from the status quo, from some position you've had embedded in wealth, material comfort, concrete skills, practical skills that are useful to all people, that have contributed to your security and stability. But you have been hanging back. There's a part of you that has been reserved as you have gathered up more information. And I believe it is something that mirrors the process spoken about earlier, where you have access to information from other places that other people don't have. And that is as a result of some kind of difference you inhabit, that is ascribed to your personality or your condition. And thus you are understanding that in order to accomplish what you see as possible, what you are investing your values in, you must gain a higher perspective. You must be able to see something in a way that is only now emerging. And I speak about your ruling planet Uranus shifting to a new sign, and that also is the energy of technological advancement, new media, new ways to communicate, redefining what communication is. In the present, the Knight of Pentacles and the Magician are clarifying the Justice card. And again, you are moving very practically to building something that expresses your vision. You are taking the tools you've mastered and you're applying them not to the success of others, but to your own success, to your own building or creating something. You could be building an institution, planning something, proposing a development of some sort, but it is something that you are holding the vision of in a very sacred way. This vision again relates to justice, equity, inclusion, something that is of practical use and application for many people and can literally improve their lives in some way. In the future, the Five of Jades is clarified by the King of Swords and the World card. I do feel like you're absolutely moving literally from one position or employment or community to another. And you're doing that by communicating what your skill, what your interests are, what your vision is describing to you. You're seeking feedback, you're seeking input from others, but you're doing that via the ability to publicly make a presentation, talk about what it is you envision, and then invite feedback. Allow yourself to gain the attention that will earn you the resources that you need. At this point, it feels more like a think tank or a mini think tank where you are proposing a general idea of vision. You may have some very concrete ways about who and how it's going to impact communities or the culture, but you're still curious about its implications or the tools needed to develop it. So that's in part why the focus for you currently is on the vision, describing the vision, and rather than creating a big plan and a big map, you are thinking about the next step to gain attention for this vision you have and to move yourself in a position to receive the information and input needed. The world indicates you're public facing, that this idea is going to be seen at a global level or going to be engaged in globally. But it is part of the shift. It's part of closing out your affiliation formally with some institution or position that got you to a place where you can command the attention of those that are in the position to help you or assist you. You're not just looking to talk to people with money or resources. You're also interested in public input, what ordinary people think, what the needs in the communities you are assessing or looking to impact need. So this feels like a huge mission of collecting that energy and being in a large discourse around these ideas that you are promoting, proposing, and trying to envision as you describe them moving forward. I hope I'm being clear. This is a lot. I'm getting a lot of information here, and it's exciting. I pulled from the Flower Oracle the tuberose, and the key word is desire. Be certain of where you place your passion. I don't think I need to say more about that, Aquarius. Thank you so much for this inspirational message. Until next time, namaste.